Hello, and welcome back to the Breakroom. This is our daily show that keeps you updated on all the nerdy news you need to know. I ate some of those words.
What are the words? What are the words you don't like?
No, I ate some of the words. I ate some of the words. Coming up on the show today, we have some interesting new Quantumania dialogue.
Yeah.
We got Agatha in a top hat.
Whoa!
And Breakroom's first ever movie club. You're here for movie
Huzzah.
club. It's going to be great. If you don't know about that, watch Knives Out on 8 times speed before we get to the movie club.
Hurry
up.
Put it on headphones.
I'm Brandon Barrick. Who cares? At the end of the table today, we got John Costa.
Who cares?
No, that's my line.
Oh, shit.
That's my line. Next to me, we got Tommy Bechtold.
Great to be here with you.
Oh, starting eyes closed. Eyes closed, he's starting.
I'm really centered today.
Very demure.
Wow,
very demure Tommy Bechtold.
It's going to be a really good, clean episode.
Oh, good, clean episode.
Yeah.
You told me before we started if we raised $100 in Super Chat, you'd kiss me like that thing in The Last of Us.
I haven't seen that show, so I don't know what that
well.
means.
You don't know what that means.
It's just neck kisses.
If we raise $5,000, I'll put something in this set inside me.
Inside of you.
Stop.
Something of the chat's choice.
This show is already unhinged.
I just heard it. What from HR?
We're getting gasps around the crowd.
It's 5,000, guys. We're not going to get there.
We are live. Send in those super chats if you feel like it today. We're having a great Friday. We hope you are too. We're live right here from our break room at New Rockstars headquarters, and it's time to get into the headline.
Hey.
Woo!
It's always weird when there's silence over that graphic.
I
should shorten it.
They don't hear silence. They hear the
headlines.
Tickety tack. Our first headline today: Captain America: New World Order adds Josha Rockmore to its cast. Josha was recently in Space Jam 2 and the season 3 finale of Atlanta.
She is.
Her role is being kept under wraps, even though the headline for this was like
Major
added
player.
a major role, and they did not say what the role was. And I was like, okay.
Unwrap those rolls.
Is anyone else struggling to see that title without thinking of WCW in 1998?
Oh, I mean,
anytime I see New World Order, all I think is like New World Order.
I'm sure there's a sliver of fans out there that feel that same way.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the companion movie.
Is this an old person reference?
The companion movie will be Bucky Barnes and the Wolfpack, I believe.
That's right. And don't turn your back on the Wolfpack.
It's true. It's true. Too sweet. Too sweet. Next headline, we got a new TV spot for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We're going to be seeing lots of these little spots coming out, both here in the U.S. and internationally. They all have little different things in them. In this new TV spot we saw, Cassie refers to the quantum device as a two-way radio. This the thing with the blue light that sucks them all in, the initial suck-in, if you will. But who do we think she was talking to on the other side of this two-way radio? Was it good old Uncle Krylar? We're assuming that's her uncle.
Jesus.
Would it be her uncle? No, technically not.
It would be. Well, then she's not related
Uncle-in-law?
to Janet Van Dyne at all. I don't know.
Yeah.
If she considers them grandparents, I guess this would be like.
Grandpapa?
When your grandmother went on a weird vacation and came back with
What do you call
a tan and 3 other kids?
What do you call like your grandparents' cousin? What is that to you? Is that also your cousin?
I think that you call them a ghost.
A ghost. We were talking about this earlier because this whole idea of this device being a two-way radio, that was something we had talked about very early on. Because in the Comic-Con footage that had come out that was not ever widely released, was put into subsequent trailers though, that was a line of dialogue that was there and then was never really widespread released until now.
You know, what if it was like a distress call from that sort of like resistance group? You know, that we've seen those new photos
the freedom
of.
fighters?
Yeah, Gentora and her kind of group. That could be interesting. I don't think she just has a line of communication to Kang because, you know, I mean, she is keeping this device from her grandparents. You'd think that Janet would sort of say, like, I know that voice, turn that phone off. Who are you talking to in the other room?
Nobody, stop it.
Also, I think it's problematic. I mean, Cassie is over the age of 18 at this point in the MCU. But it's inappropriate for Kang to be messaging such a young lady.
True.
He shouldn't be doing that.
I bet you maybe he's pulling like a Hans Gruber and Die Hard where he's pretending to be like a
I'm stuck down here.
Oh no, I'm trapped down here.
Oh, please don't shoot me.
No.
That's his American accent in that segment of Die Hard is great. I've never seen Die Hard though because I was born in 2002.
Next movie club movie.
Next movie club movie.
Oh
yeah. I think both MT
if it's not available for streaming.
I think both MT and Eric have pointed out that the quantum device has like a little keyboard attached to it, and that could be for just activating the device. But the radio part might be like it's more like talking, like Skyping.
It's like remember Lost? Remember the Lost computer? You're too young. You're too young.
What's Lost?
It's a show
never seen it.
that I love.
Because that early Comic-Con footage too, I think it also implied that like she was building this because of a way like, hey, Dad, when you were gone and I had no way of getting in touch with you,
talk to you,
if I had had this device, I could have talked to you.
I want to make sure this never
happens again. Never happens again. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I agree that I don't think she's talking to Kang. I like the idea that she's talking
It's just
to
someone that Scott owes money to or Janet owes money to. It's like,
hey, this is Maury. Can you tell your dad that the Quantum Jets lost to the Quantum 49ers? And unfortunately, the under also hit. So I'm going to need 500 quantum bucks from him by Monday before I break his quantum fingers.
I'm going to have to suck you in and shrink your legs, okay? So
tell him he's got to go to Quantum Jersey, or as we call it, the toilet.
Oh, boy. Here we go again. And next headline, new set photos from Agatha Coven of Chaos show Catherine Hahn and Joe Locke probably just doing something innocent at an Orange Julius or something in a mall. There are these set photos.
What an odd costume.
Zach called her the Madewell Witch.
Yes.
I love this.
Zach Huddleston said that.
She's wearing a top hat and like some kind of flowy blouse.
I think they were filming the show somewhere else, and she just tried to go to lunch.
Yeah.
Set, baby.
Set photo.
Well, some people were saying, does this take place before she snaps out of the sort of hex that Wanda put her in? She's wearing black and white, which is like how Wanda left her in that. But like,
she's with Wiccan, who this is all following my theory.
Maybe.
My theories.
Maybe.
My predictions.
Was there another photo we had from the set?
We have one more, which just they rebranded the mall.
They call it the Westfield Mall, not the Westfield Mall. We never obviously saw a mall in the show. We kind of we got some overhead shots of the town.
When they were changing from the town from the Hex version to the real version, it looked like they kind of passed over a Sears or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, we saw like the downtown area, a bustling downtown that was, when the Hex went away, we saw how it was in disrepair.
Yeah.
So sometimes gentrification via Hex is a good thing.
Oh, yeah, revitalize the area.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to just have someone take over your brain and you could just relax?
I could sell my house for a nice markup.
Yeah, it'd be lovely. But yeah, we're of course looking forward to the show. Those don't tell us a lot, obviously, but it's good to see they're in production and it's moving forward. All that good stuff. I don't want to be spoiled on it, so if we get any other more provocative set photos, please don't show them to me.
Yeah, we were getting some of the little clips and glimpses of Loki season 2 in that like sizzle reel that they put out, and I even seeing that, I was like, ooh, this might be too much for me.
I know.
This might be too much for me.
I know.
It's fun having a sequel to a Disney Plus Marvel series. We haven't gotten one of those yet. Speaking of which, that's the lead topic of today's discussion.
Yes.
We just want to give everyone an update about where the hell.
Not today's discussion.
Oh God.
I'll go fix it. I thought I put it in.
Yeah, I've got it in front of me.
Okay.
We want to give everyone an update on like what's happening with these Disney Plus series, right? Like we thought we would kind of have a second Secret Invasion trailer here by now, but we don't. So I'm going to just run through all of the 2023 releases, not necessarily all the Phase 5 ones, but everything that's supposed to come out this year, so you can all kind of go home with a better understanding of what the heck's happening.
These are just the Disney Plus Marvel series.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've heard so much about them. We're getting little news things, but what's what now? What's what?
Right. So I'm going to start with animation. Let's just start with the animated ones. Okay. Back in July, we got some updates about some of these shows' release dates. What If Season 2, they said early 2023, right around,
we're here, baby.
Right around now. It's early 2023.
It's early.
They showed a full episode at Comic-Con. So there's one in the can, sitting around somewhere.
We also knew there was one episode
that they moved
from Season 1 to Season 2.
Yeah. It didn't seem like that was the episode that they showed for people, though.
Because that episode we think was like a Tony Stark and Wakanda thing, because there was like an Iron Man suit.
There was something Gamora was cut out of. Yeah.
Gamora was in the Thanos armor, all that stuff.
Yeah, but the episode that they showed at Comic-Con, if memory serves, was a continuation of the the post-credit scene basically from What If, where
Captain Carter comes to the Tesseract.
Yes, thank you.
And what we know of the events of the first Avengers, Avengers Assemble for you folks in the UK, the moment of the Tesseract opening and Loki coming out. Instead of What If, it was
Steve
Captain Carter
Rogers.
coming out with like tentacles.
Yeah.
Sliced off tentacles.
But also, I'm talking about as well
Steve
the Steve
Rogers
Rogers
is
in
still
the
alive.
Mark 1
Yes.
Iron Man suit.
He's in that weird Ironmonger-esque.
Yeah. So some kind of frustrating news with that show, right? The trailer for the first season of What If came out in December 2020. That show premiered in August 2021.
Oh, okay.
So they did about 8 months of 9
Finishing
months,
the show.
9 months from trailer release to episode 1 release. So I don't know if we're going to exactly follow that model, but 9 months from now certainly is not early 2021, 2023. No. We have heard of like some kind of like grumbling underground unconfirmed rumors that show is getting moved to the end of the year to accommodate for what? I don't know, because it kind of takes place outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hopefully it just means that they're spending the time to make these episodes better. Or
And these are just rumors. We don't know.
We don't know.
They haven't said anything, unfortunately.
But, I don't know. It dovetails into the other animation topics, which is we're also supposed to get X-Men 97 this year. That was going to be a fall release, or is still kind of technically slated to be a fall release. We've also heard sort of similar rumblings, both rumor mill online and some of the things that we hear at New Rockstars. We have our kind of fingers in a lot of pies. that may be getting pushed in 2024. So I wouldn't be surprised if that What If show kind of sits in that fall slot.
Okay.
And then
at Comic-Con they didn't show any clips from.
I
X-Men
can't
97,
quite remember.
right?
I wasn't at Comic-Con.
They showed like character designs and stuff like that.
We got a lot of images. We got a lot of stills. Those were all released online.
Between Comic-Con and D23, we've seen some like stills and some images, but we've not seen like any clips or anything like that.
Yeah, I think they showed like an animatic maybe or something like that, but not an episode.
And for some people, you might be thinking like animation, like this should come out. They could do this overnight or whatever. But it's like sometimes animation takes longer than a standard production because they have to like. We
forgot to put this in the headlines today with the Invincible trailer that came out today. Yeah. They were kind of making fun of the fact that like this shit takes a long time to make, And
they're like, maybe the end of 2023? Yeah. And it's like they don't know still. Right. It takes time to do the voice acting and the drawing and like sending off to fix it and then making changes, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So that's sort of what Marvel's animation slate was going to look like this year. You still have Marvel Zombies and Spider-Man Freshman Year. Those were already slated for 2024, so not going to be this year anyway. So we might just get What If this year. That might be it.
Okay.
Moving on to live action, though. Look, it's not great news across the board.
Oh,
I want to preface that, right?
No.
Smash!
We got that first trailer for Secret Invasion at D23 back in August, September, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Now, they were teasing an early 2023 release for that, too. They said spring on their Phase 5 graphic, if we could pull that up. There it is. Spring 2023. And they sort of, the way that they do this is they kind of like nudged it barely,
very close
barely to the right of Quantumania.
Right.
So that made us think like, probably it'll come out after Quantumania.
Right.
That's how they normally kind of do these things. The thing with that, right, is that like if you, again, we try to be loose here at New Rockstars. If you follow the kind of trailer release pattern, Mandalorian Season 3 just got its second trailer right last week. That's scheduled to come out March 1st.
Right.
So if you kind of follow Disney's marketing department a little bit,
if we got a new trailer next week, then it
we'd
would
be like,
like middle,
something
end of
like
March.
that. They've overlapped Marvel and Star Wars shows in the past, maybe not super successfully for them, right?
Yeah.
Like I think they found that when they put Kenobi out with Miss Marvel kind of suffered, and when they put out She-Hulk and Andor at the same time, Andor kind of suffered.
It's weird that there's been nothing for a while now.
It is weird. It is weird.
Last year we had Hawkeye around the holidays, and Book of Boba Fett started in between.
I think the next week or something. Yeah,
like the week after it ended. So I see your point, John, because maybe they don't want to double stack a week with two big shows. But also, like, we know someone there must have a chart of, like, this is when we're planning to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Ostensibly, the people who worked on the show higher up are like, the show's coming out this day.
Well,
and that's the other piece of the
why
pie.
haven't they pulled the trigger on saying that's the
That's the
day?
other piece of the pie. Marvel Disney Plus shows have been notoriously kind of slow at announcing their release dates, right? I think we only just learned the March 1st release date for Mando Season 3 a few weeks ago,
Monday.
right?
No, I think we learned it
was
Monday.
it just on Monday?
I think they announced it in the trailer, right?
So, who knows? They could just kind of be like, it's coming next month, and when we get a new trailer and all that kind of stuff. If we're going back to that same kind of source that we have for these rumors, again, unsubstantiated, they're just rumors. People are saying not until May, which would be a total bummer. I guess technically still spring.
Still spring.
If you pull that Phase 5 graphic up again, we'll see, May 5th is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Does it come out that first week of May and beat Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit? I'd think that they'd, not want to overlap those two programs.
Well, it'd be very close to
much.
Loki as well.
It would be close to
I'm
Loki.
sure they don't want to run into Loki.
Yeah.
Who would want to run into Loki? That guy's mischievous as heck.
Yeah, well, and speaking of which, we saw Echo on that graph was sort of
for the summer.
Right around the dog is coughing as Puppet Storm in the corner. Right around Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah. $10,000, I eat the dog. Just made a new
no,
a new super chat.
Save your money, folks.
We have heard, Jesus Christ. We've heard from the head writer of that show. Late last year, she was sort of like, it's probably going to come out around this time next year.
Yeah.
So she kind of hinted that it's probably not going to come out until December 2023 at the earliest.
Right.
That one is sort of our most guaranteed to get pushed.
Which one was that again?
That's Echo.
Echo, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
This rumors thing is saying it might be 2024.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Again, who knows? So I know it's like the worst news possible.
I can't wait that long.
If it's for the benefit of these shows,
That's right.
Make them a little better.
I think a lot of people were sitting there saying like, "Ooh, Phase 4, it felt rushed. It didn't feel completed." You look at Thor: Love and Thunder, and I think like one of the things that I felt coming out of that movie was, they shot a lot of the stuff on the volume, and that felt practical for COVID reasons and all that kind of stuff. So I'm totally fine with them kind of looking at their slate and saying, hey, let's just slow this down a little bit. We don't need to put out 55,000 things a year. I think Kevin Feige, when Multiverse of Madness was coming out, there was a quote going around that was like, he picked Sam Raimi, the director for that movie, because Sam Raimi was like so established and so like he could be so hands off. I think Kevin Feige has a million meetings a day, I'm sure. Right. So, slowing this down a little bit maybe means he can be a little bit more hands-on.
Okay.
So that's Echo. That's getting
getting
pushed. Yeah, now, the good news, right, is that like we've heard no kind of push news about both Loki Season 2 and Ironheart.
Yes.
Now, Loki Season 2 is one of the only things we've seen footage from, apart from the trailer we got for Secret Invasion. We've seen 4 or 5 shots. Eric put out a breakdown of those shots on the channel a couple of weeks ago. Some really cool, exciting stuff. Yeah. That's shot summer of last year, so they should be finishing that.
They had a sizzle reel at D23.
Yeah.
Tons of good stuff.
It sounded really cool from the descriptions you guys said.
Yeah.
So that looks like it's ready to go, and that for us here, that's like my most anticipated show of this year.
Most definitely.
We're in Last of Us season right now, which I'm really enjoying. But after that show, I think Loki is sort of my next.
First sequel show for Disney Plus to come out. Like quickly announced to be a sequel as the show ended.
That's right. They loved it so much they were like, we got to make a second season. We're going to change the ending.
Kate Herron, who made the first season, was like, I don't want to do a second. She was like, I had this story to tell, and if you guys want to keep running with it, fine. But like, they changed the ending to
Michael
open
Waldron has sort of passed the torch for that show as well. He's obviously wrote Multiverse of Madness and is off writing
Fantastic Four.
I thought he was writing one of the Avengers movies.
I think Loveness is writing Kang Dynasty. This is bad. We should know this.
We should know that one.
He's writing a future Marvel project and a future Star Wars project that Kevin Feige is also producing.
Michael Waldron, if you're watching, please call in.
Call us.
Give us a call.
Call us. And then, as we all know, with Ironheart, if I can give a quick update,
please.
Shit's lit.
Shit's lit. That's right. Thank you, Anthony Ramos. If you're listening,
well, I was quoting.
He can't be clean. He's going to shove a dog carcass up his ass if we get $10,000.
No, I'm going to eat the. Well, you know what? Either way, in or out, the dog's going in me today.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Okay, so you guys ready for some more bad news?
I'm ready.
You ready for some more bad news?
Hit me with the bad news.
We just saw our first episode of Agatha Coven Chaos. It's shooting right now.
Yes. What's the bad news?
Sounds like it shot some stuff before the break in December, but they're fully in production right now.
Yeah, I hate this news.
Here's this weird rumor that kind of puts everything into context for me in a maybe all these rumors are bullshit kind of a way. now that it was slated to release sort of late 2023 into 24, similar to the Book of Boba Fett stuff that they did last year, there's this rumor that they're going to save it for 2025 after Daredevil Born Again. I don't see how those two shows are connected, right? I don't see why you would say, we wanted to slightly change the story of Kevin of Chaos. Yeah. It's got to take place after Daredevil Born Again, and that show's a little further away from production. It's 18 episodes. It's going to take them a long time to get rolling on that one. I don't see why they would do that and continue production now.
Why shoot it now?
Right?
Yeah.
So that kind of tells me, okay, these rumors that we're hearing, maybe some of them have a little bit of truth to them, maybe some of them don't. But the great news is that's shooting right now, and I think we are all pretty familiar with, film production and development, and it seems like that show, probably the 6 episodes of that show, or I think it's 9 episodes because they're shorter episodes, could probably be turned around by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
So.
Yeah, and to your point, if anything, it seems like Ironheart and Coven of Chaos were going to be more closely related. Because the rumor
they've got
is
this Mephisto.
was being put in Ironheart.
Right.
So I don't know. And they also had Ironheart footage at D23.
Yeah.
So they did preface it that it was very early footage. It was all practical stuff. I don't think there was any effects we saw.
I think they
saw
similar. That was
sketches,
shooting around then in August. That one obviously has way more visual effects to take care of than something like Coven of Chaos does. But still, if you pull up the Phase 5 graphic one last time, you can see. We changed it. Never mind. Ironheart used to be slated to come out right after Blade, and the Blade's date was November 7th, 2023. Right. So that'll probably come out in that November window.
We haven't really heard much
fall.
about Ironheart moving. It seems like they're still aiming for that fall window. So it'd be great.
Loki and Ironheart are the two that were sort of these seem like they're going to come out.
Come on out, guys.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at with the Disney Plus series for this year. I'm expecting Kevin Feige to rock up on stage and some kind of Agatha all along was the person creating these rumors that all these shows are getting delayed and maybe they're totally fine.
I'm a full-time procrastinator, so if I was a head writer on this show, I'd be seeding those rumors of this show's going to move.
Yeah, it looks like things are going to be a few months.
Well, interestingly enough, again, we know some folks that work at Marvel, and apparently, according to them, they just don't know when their shows are coming out. They don't know. They're in the same boat as us. I'm sure they're aware, I'm sure they're aware about production timelines and finishing, and they kind of know roughly how far along the show is in its creation and its finishing. But they're not hey, your show's got to come out on this day, so we got to get everything done by then.
I'm told some of the animators on What If thought they were just doing paintings.
Maybe
for a gallery.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's Rockwell-esque.
Rockwell-esque paintings. Well, thank you for all that information.
Yeah.
John,
I'm sorry it couldn't have all been great.
I know. It is.
You know what?
It is.
Some days you get chicken salad. Some days you get chicken shit.
That's right. That's right.
It's very few. I would almost say only Marvel is in this kind of weird position. Hopefully DC will be there very shortly. Month is almost over. Of kind of having to Babe Ruth their slate for the next couple of years. It'd be here's where everything's going to come out.
Well, and I guess
obviously things are going to change.
I guess that's some of the good news, which is Disney put out, they sort of quarterly will put out a press release to press and theaters that is here's our upcoming movie slate for the next 4 years or whatever it is. They put another one of those out today. No changes to the Marvel slate, right? So every movie that they've already kind of announced is at least as of now holding its release date. So this is just the shows that are kind of moving around, but it seems like the movies, at least for the next couple of years, are pretty set.
And the shows moving wasn't Agatha's starting September 3rd, 2023. They were fall.
Yeah, it's going to be late. Yeah.
Late.
I don't know.
I like late replacing a
And
season.
maybe Disney doesn't follow the normal, sun calendar.
Yeah,
it doesn't follow the equinox.
The Caesar,
doesn't
whatever.
it doesn't apply to our seasons. Maybe they're on the Australian
I think
season.
they have 7 months, one for each beautiful dwarf.
Hey,
It'll be
let's
coming out in late snoozy.
Some of our great super chatters, Christian Unpronounceable said, "I just love you guys and everyone in the chat." I love everyone here. Sometimes the people in the chat kind of assholes, but in a way that I love.
Everyone in the chat knows how I feel about them. I think they're absolute trash.
In Gravois also sent in a super chat saying, always watch out for danger.
That's right.
When communicating with strangers online. Don't talk to strangers online.
As Dio said, don't talk to strangers.
I don't know if Chris Hansen would want to show up at Kang the Conqueror's house on Dateline.
Kang, can you have a seat?
Probably not end well.
We had you talking with Cassie Lang when she was only 16 years old. I was just chatting with her. We were friends online. You asked her to buy a bottle of Bartles and James wine cooler, Kang. What were you thinking?
He asked a kid to buy Bartles and James.
Well, he's in the quantum realm. He can't get it.
Right.
He's like,
right.
Can you get a bunch of Bartles and James and put it next to the device?
Do me a favor. Get 40 McNuggets.
Also, I don't know what Bartles and James is because I'm only 20 years old.
I actually don't know.
Actually, if you're 20, you probably do know what Bartles and James is.
Do they still make Bartles and James?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Do you think, that's the real secret to Pim Tech is just make your bottles of booze a little bit bigger, they last you longer.
Wine coolers turned into...
Yeah, but they might not have the same
They don't have the punch?
Sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say wine coolers turned into seltzers. Those are the new wine coolers.
What a gambit. Go back to the wine coolers. I miss them. I miss sitting out by a body of water and feeling like absolute trash after 2 of them. Your stomach just like basically drinking alcoholic Kool-Aid. A horrible time for all.
You can still get some Mad Dog 2020. That's a malt product, though. Hey, it's Friday here at the Breakroom. We're having a great time.
We have not been drinking.
We have not,
Sober
unfortunately.
as judge.
We hope you are too. But this is a big day. Okay, it's almost time for Breakroom Movie Club. This is our first one ever.
Oh, I'm excited.
Almost time.
And before we get to that, we want to thank NordVPN for sponsoring our show today and all week. And they're the ones that made our Breakroom Movie Club possible. As a reminder, with just one click, just one easy click. And here's a pro tip: you can even automate this, so you don't even have to click. The NordVPN turns on automatically.
You know what? I wanted to tell you to throw out the copy today because I've been using NordVPN and I wanted to say a couple things about it.
Throw it out.
You're right. Just one click. And the cool thing too is
John's going to give you a testimonial to
they've got all these. Well, so I have to use VPNs a lot for work. I won't get into why. And one of the things I really like about Nord is they have like a bunch of recommended servers to connect to, which I imagine they do based on proximity and speed of the servers and all that kind of stuff. But there's also a really handy search function because we knew that Knives Out was on Japanese Netflix. Right. We were going to watch that for our movie club. You can just search for the country that you want. And like, I mean, they're in, I think, 60 different countries.
Yeah, there's 60 countries, over 5,400 servers. So many servers.
So like, and they have the way that they do their countries are they're in major countries, so they're countries with big Netflix libraries essentially, right? I don't know if they did that on purpose, but like it's not like they're putting their servers in like Lithuania or whatever. Yeah, tiny little countries. So that being said, it was super easy. And then the other great feature that I didn't know about, and people who have VPNs maybe will be excited about this too. I sometimes will turn off my VPN because there's some stuff I want to do without using a VPN. And I always forget to turn it back on. Nord has this really nifty, like handy little pause feature, and you can choose like 30 minutes up to 5 hours or something like that. So you don't have to remember to turn it back on. And they have all these other privacy features. You can store your passwords with Nord. Like, ultimately at the end of the day, a VPN is really useful for protecting your privacy online. It's becoming more and more important than ever. Nord sort of has this like really great top to bottom privacy program. That includes password protection and password management and VPNs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they block.
I know this is technically an ad, but it's really handy.
It's good. And you can use it on like up to 6 devices, so it's not just your computer, like on your phone, on like smart TVs, things like that.
Well, and speaking of geo-blocking, it's football season right now. I would set my location. I'm a Jets fan. I would set my location in New York. And I would get to watch
Why New York? They don't play there.
I would get to watch the Jets, and then I could turn the VPN off, and it would continue to work, and I could go do all my others. It was great. It's great.
Like setting my location in Toronto to watch the Bills.
I mean, I'm pretty much a tech novice, and like NordVPN sent us like everything it does, and they have a section of like, here's what we do if you actually understand this, and I didn't understand any of it all. So if you barely knew how to use your computer, NordVPN is helpful. If you're really smart and you're like, I don't need it, check it out. Yeah. They have a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
And it's a very useful service. And they're the best out there. They got the best speed, baby. Yeah. They'll always keep you streaming in that crisp high definition.
Speaking of privacy, did you notice that what's his name? The Chris Evans character in Knives Out. He uses Proton Mail, which is like an encrypted mail service. That's right. He would be using. I'm not saying that murderers use NordVPN. I'm not saying murderers use NordVPN. But if you are a murderer and you need a VPN,
Consider it. Right. So if you're thinking of using a VPN or committing a murder with a VPN, check out our exclusive NordVPN offer at nordvpn.com/breakroom. You'll get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus a bonus gift. And if you're worried, you're like, I don't want to do this, is risky, it's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Nice. Again, an exclusive gift just for our Breakroom fans out there. Go to NordVPN, that's NordVPN.com/breakroom. Check it out for yourself.
And grab it now while we still have this deal going, because we're going to be doing NordVPN Movie Club next month. Yeah. So you got the 30-day money-back guarantee. Use it for the 30 days. We'll be back doing another.
Within 30 days.
Yeah, we'll do it within 30 days. You can join us on the Movie Club. And if you don't love it, then that's totally fine.
And don't forget, it's like I always say, if you're worried about the price, even Tommy can afford to go with Nord.
We do pay you to do this show.
Yeah.
When?
When are you doing that?
When is that showing up?
Well, let's get into it, okay? Thank you, NordVPN. It's time for our Breakroom Movie Club. It's our first one ever. We watched Knives Out in Japan, or on Japanese Netflix.
I flew to Japan.
No, you didn't get Nord?
I got confused. Sure. I didn't get Nord in time, so I chartered a jet to Japan, settled into my hotel, got an Amazon Fire Stick, and then I downloaded Netflix and watched it.
It's not currently streaming in the U.S. right now. You have to purchase it.
Which is so weird, because I pitched this movie for Movie Club and everyone was like, it's on Netflix, and we were like, well, no, Glass Onion is.
Why would Netflix? I don't know. I can't get into
it's not on
Netflix.
It's dumb.
You know, it's probably this movie was probably people were dying to buy the syndication rights for this movie. If you don't remember, it basically blew up at the box office. Yes. It was like, it was still pretty fresh into COVID, and it was like, oh, there's something to go see. We could go see this movie.
Yeah. Surprise hit.
So we watched it again. We hope some of you at home watched it too. And here's my first question for you guys.
Yes.
And if you out there in the chat, if you have any lingering questions, your thoughts, send them in. John's going to be watching the chat.
Yep.
Say hi to John.
Hello.
We'll get to some of your questions, some of your thoughts.
I accidentally set someone as a moderator.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Ernie H-Town, you're no longer a moderator.
Ernie, you flew too close to the sun, my man.
My first question for both of you guys, we've seen Glass Onion now, right?
Yes.
Going back to Knives Out, what really stood out for you? Because you both had seen it before. I'd seen it before. But I had not seen it again since watching Glass Onion.
I mean, first of all, right, like, I had seen Knives Out twice before this rewatch, and I had seen Glass Onion twice. And it's just like, it still continues to be so rewarding on a rewatch. Yeah. The screenplay is written so smartly, where like you see the dogs at the beginning, and it always comes. It's just like there's so many great breadcrumbs, so many those are like classic Agatha Christie moments that they do in this movie that you just kind of get reminded of. It's so smart.
For me, there's two things that when I rewatched it that I remember feeling kind of like very moved by. Christopher Plummer's performance with, not a ton of screen time, but like just his relationship with Marta was, I think, just so was such a beautiful like cinematic relationship that was not made like dirty old man lusting after.
Well, and she did not have malicious intent. Right. Her job.
Well, and you know what is like a really smart juxtaposition for that is like, I didn't realize first time watching it was like he was probably really desperate for family.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? His family is such a piece of shit.
They all failed him on different levels.
And this is like the only, and of course, like it's so obvious on the surface. He puts her in the will and all that kind of stuff. And so like literally like makes her, not literally makes her part of his family, but typically your will is mostly for family. And so, like, having his family be so shitty and that being, like, really the only relationship that he has and cherishes is so smart.
The second, yes, I completely agree. And the second thing was how intimidating that house was. How just, like,
all the
different
shots.
levels and, like, the weird exposed, like, stone balconies that you could go out on. I was like, man, this is a house that if I rented it as an Airbnb and had a couple Bartles and gin, I could see myself impaling
every corner,
multiple places.
I mean, shit, who has that crazy art piece with the circular knives in their house?
I know.
I would love one of those. Where do you think that thing is?
Oh,
Like, it's
I
not
bet
in Ryan
has
Johnson's
it.
basement.
He has. It's not in his
gotta
basement.
be.
It's in his living room, probably.
Have you ever seen Mike Flanagan's office where it's like a ton of movie memorabilia? Ryan Johnson seems cut from that same cloth to me. Like that knife sculpture is there.
It's got to live somewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say one thing that really stood out to me watching this movie again was just how different it was from Glass Onion.
Totally.
That was a big reminder, and I was like, oh, this is great. And like the movie starts with the dead body.
Yes.
It's like it gets right into it, whereas like Glass Onion takes some time to get
Sure.
to the murder, and like I was just like so much fun going back to this movie, and it was so good. Jamie Lee Curtis killing it, like Don Johnson. I'll get back to him, but like
Love
just
him.
like so many good things.
He had like such a good year that year.
This was a
I think
good
it was
year
like
for him.
Watchmen and Knives Out all kind of came out around the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple questions from the chat. Mary Smith is wondering, is it appropriate for 13-year-olds? Is it rated R?
Oh, that's
I think
tough.
so. I mean, I don't know your kid, but
I would say there's no like graphic sex in it.
Yeah.
There's not even like graphic violence.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think if anything, I saw Terminator 2 way too young.
Yeah.
So I think you're fine.
Well, the most upsetting scene in the movie would be Christopher Plummer unaliving himself.
Yes.
And that is fairly theatrical, blood
Right.
and violence.
But a movie like this, I remember being young, which was only like 8 years ago for me.
Right.
But like a movie like this, these are the types of movies that if this is like, this could be a 13-year-old's first movie to be like, whoa, I get
love
this.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a movie, as a kid too, you rewatch movies so much more. I feel like, like this, it is so rewarding to rewatch. I remember loving Clue as a kid.
Yes, me too.
Which is a movie that
The
has so many hidden things in it.
origin of the term Easter egg.
Yes. And like that's a movie that was way too adult for me.
Sure. Yeah, me too.
But like,
Well, and you know what? There's some jokes in this original Knives Out that flew over my head the first time I watched it, and it's not like I've grown up so much since the first time I watched it and now.
Yeah.
But you know, it is one of those movies that there will probably be things that like miss a 13-year-old, and then they can rewatch it in a couple of years and pick up on a couple more things.
And I'll say, just personal experience, I watched Glass Onion with my 13-year-old nephew.
Oh, great.
And, you know, I don't think, I mean, he certainly has seen
crying.
some movies he shouldn't have seen. He watched Child's Play, and that was not good.
It's got a
He's
doll.
also seen every Halloween movie.
I saw Child's Play way too young as well.
Yeah, but I don't, like, afterwards, I did some basic neurological tests on him, and he seemed intact. So yeah.
Lillian Gao, who is our biggest mandatory fun stand, says they saw Seven when she was 7.
Oh,
which, you know, hey, I wouldn't do
allowed
that.
that?
I wouldn't
Who
do that.
allowed that?
Another question for the chat. Frey Girl is wondering, did anyone of us know what the game Go was before watching the movie?
No,
The
I
game
had
that
no
they
idea.
play and they spill. So I took a class in college, one of my least favorite classes, ironically enough, that was like all about games. And Go was like one of the most like first strategy games, and it inspired a bunch of the other stuff. So
no idea
I
about
did know what Go was, but I still don't know how to play it. Yeah.
No, it's like Othello. I'm very aware of the game. I have no idea how to play it.
Yeah, great play.
Othello's not that.
So, for you guys, like, who do you think like stole the movie on this additional? Who won the movie for you on this additional viewing? And I will take out Daniel Craig. Benoit Blanc, I think, obviously won the movie the first time around for everyone.
Simply for the pronunciation of murder.
I'm just here as a simple observer.
For me, after watching Everything Everywhere All at Once and that kind of being my favorite movie of last year, I got to give it to
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis. I was thinking Jamie Lynn Spears in my head. Jamie Lee Curtis.
I gotta give it to
I
Jamie.
gotta
Give it to Zoe
Because I
101.
feel like she's one of the only people at the end of that movie that also kind of gets what she wanted, which is like she finds out that her husband is cheating on her, you know, and so she has a really satisfying sort of
She's
ending.
really good
She's
in
great.
this.
She's so fun,
Just that,
top
that
to bottom.
bottled rage underneath there. I mean, Michael Shannon has that bottled rage, but that's just like constant for Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when he's at the grocery store and he asks the produce guy something, I'm sure the produce guy is like, is he going to kill me? I don't understand.
Yeah.
We're the cantaloupes. But like, yeah, she's great in this.
She's
I
so
mean,
fun.
for me, it was Don Johnson. Like,
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
just so
making a
good
meal
in
out
it.
of everything.
Just like having the best time and like, the reveal when they're getting interviewed at the beginning and like everyone kind of like looks to camera at some point and is like, who is that?
Sure.
And they're looking at
Yeah.
Benoit Blanc, but they're looking at you, and it's just like great.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so good. What about you, Tommy?
I, you know, I gotta be basic on this. America's ass, Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I mean, you love
I would even go further. Just his sweaters.
Playing against type, chunky sweaters.
Yeah. Chunky sweaters.
I honestly think
Android phone.
I honestly
Such a
think
spoiled
Knives Out
brat too.
I think Knives Out might have been the movie to convince him to leave the MCU.
Yeah.
You know,
really? Like,
I think
he
he
was
sat there and was
so
like,
much
"This was
fun
so
there."
fun.
Yeah.
It's so not me.
Yeah.
I got to play character.
His name was
Everyone loved
Ransom.
him. His name was Ransom.
Well, he
Which is
was getting there
insane.
too, right? Because in Avengers Endgame, when they go in the time heist and they go back to the Battle of New York and Loki's getting arrested or whatever, and Loki turns into Chris Evans and does like a but I think just Chris Evans getting to do that, it's like, ooh, I want to not be like the straight man anymore. I want to be like the fun, evil guy, and he is great in it. And again, like when you rewatch the movie, it's like from the jump, they're like, yeah, he left the party early, he was angry, and he's like obviously like him, but like.
And that's my favorite part about these movies is that they kind of tell you who the bad guy is before they ask you, before the murder happens.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you knew he was the fucking murderer, right? You knew that Edward Norton, spoilers for Glass Onion, it was the murderer. But then the movie is sort of like, no, he's not for a long time.
Right.
Could possibly
you know, which is really fun.
Yeah, and especially comparing this to like Glass Onion, you know, I think Rian Johnson did such a good job with Glass Onion, making it so different, and also playing on the audience being like, okay, I'm in a Knives Out collection movie. They should be called the Benoit Blanc Saga, which I think Rian Johnson wanted. He didn't want Knives Out.
I think he just wanted to call it Glass Onion.
Well, and
end of story.
But like in that movie, you're constantly being like, okay, I'm gonna figure this one out, baby. And like and there's so many red herrings in that one. And like from the jump, Benoit's like, here's how the movie ends, and you're like, what? We're not even starting. But this one is like going back, and you're like, okay, I want to figure it out and see if all the clues are there, and they are there. But like you didn't know when you watched it the first time, you weren't ready to be like.
Well, and it's like it does this brilliant thing where it's like you don't know what's a clue and what's just kind of out of place. You know, there's a bunch of stuff where you're like, because like he picks up the broken piece of the terrace or whatever,
right? And
you're like, oh, like who is this leading to? And it's leading to Ana de Armas, and so you know, like there's clues everywhere, and they're leading to different killers.
There's like the baseball,
and you just don't exactly
like the
know.
Shoe stuff,
yeah,
like the weird little alt-right teenager.
That was someone said in the chat. Gosh, where is it? Not super important, but the Nazi masturbating line was their favorite thing.
I mean,
in the movie.
So much good dialogue in the movie.
Yeah.
And the set design was just like out of this world. Where would you guys like to see this franchise go next? I mean, they're gonna make more.
What
of
are we
these.
talking about?
These
They've got
movies are
two
so
more.
different.
I think that he signed on.
I think
for?
Netflix bought 3 or whatever.
Okay,
right?
so
I've got two options.
Okay.
I'd like to either see it go to a like a Swiss ski show.
Oh,
like a ski lodge mystery.
Ooh, I like that too because you could do like kind of a cabin fever, like snowed in. Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't leave the island in Glass Onion, but they had a lot of space to work with.
Or a like Monte Carlo casino, like really lavish casino gambling type thing.
Okay. For me, I want them to like. I think this next one should be like Ben. They think Ben
Bring it home.
Blanc's the murderer.
Bring it home.
Wait, what about a table of gamblers, like a poker table, like a final table?
Oh, that's
like
fun
that.
too.
And it's
yeah,
like,
I would. You know, there's like this kind of genre of movie that is like a sequence film. You know, like Mad Max Fury Road is kind of a sequence film. You get like I think one night and then it picks up later, but that movie's pretty linear. It takes place within the film. It'd be so fun to do a Knives Out movie where it like kind of just takes place within the runtime.
At the final table. Of a poker
like
tournament.
a real time.
Yeah, a little bit like Rope. You know that Hitchcock movie Rope. A little bit.
Yeah.
In Time? No, that was
Justin Timberlake.
Johnny Depp did a movie that took
Nick of Time.
Nick of Time. That is a movie happens in real time, basically.
Fun.
Not great. So for our
Aquaman.
movie club here.
Before we get to this, we were talking earlier too. So Knives Out, Radiohead song.
Oh, okay.
Glass Onion, Beatles song. We got it at the end credits. Is there a band? That we're like, ooh, it's got to be?
I think the next Rian Johnson Benoit Blanc movie will be called "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time."
Oh, it's a domestic abuse movie.
No.
Okay, sorry.
It's a baby murder.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
You are gonna murder a baby. Tom's gonna murder a dog.
I'm not going to murder a dog. I'm going to consume it. If it lives during the passing through my body, then it's nothing I can do about it. All right. I'm going to say two choices. One, The Gambler.
Oh, I like that.
By Kenny Rogers. And then the other one would be, of course, Darling Nikki by Prince.
Darling Nikki.
I'm going, he did sort of like, what genre would you call Radiohead? Sort of like underground.
Trash.
Okay, sure, trash. Then you've got like,
Just
like
kidding, I love Radiohead.
just pure pop music with the Beatles. I think he's going to go classical. We're going to do a little Vivaldi's of the Four Seasons. It's going to take place at some kind of resort.
Stunning.
Oh, stunning.
I think it's going to be the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Okay,
Glory.
Perfect. Well,
Ham, a Knives Out mystery.
for every movie club we do here at the Breakroom, we're going to rank a movie out of 5. 5 being the highest point you can give, but you can give any decimal in between numbers.
Okay.
So out of 5 knives, how many knives do you give Knives Out?
Oh, I'm going to go, and I hate to be such a simp for the first movie we did.
No.
I'm going to give it 5
elegant,
heavy-duty, Japanese steel stainless. Serrated blades, cut through the meat like nothing, but also a little weight to the handle so you're not sloppy with the knife.
Well balanced.
5 gorgeous Japanese steak knives.
Incredible.
Beautiful. I mean, I got to go, watching this again, I had so much fun again. Really great to delve back into a really well-done movie. You can't really fault it too much. I'm going to go 4.8 knives.
Yeah.
4.8 knives.
What kind of knives?
I'm going like those bow hunter knives.
Beautiful.
That like a Bowie knife.
Bowie knife?
Bowie, David Bowie. That
who knows?
John Rambo was carrying around.
It's rating systems are so weird, right? It's not Citizen Kane. It's more enjoyable
subjective.
than that.
It's your experience, John.
Within the genre of murder mystery, there's some movies that I like more. Clue being one of them that I really love. I love a thriller that's a little bit more kind of like hard-boiled and a little it takes itself a little bit more serious.
You like edging, right?
But yeah, I do. I'm edging right now.
You like Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah,
I do like that movie.
It's a great movie.
I'm right there with you, 4.75, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, an aggregate score of 5.91.
Oh, wow.
That's how aggregate works.
4.91.
Incredible.
We'll throw out the lowest and the highest and give it a 4.8.
A lot of people in the chat putting in their knives ratings. A lot of 4s and 5s. It's a great movie. We picked a good movie on purpose, right?
Next month we're going to pick an absolute stinker.
But thank you again to NordVPN for sponsoring Breakroom all this week and making our movie club possible. Again, we're going to do it next month. Check out nordvpn.com/breakroom. Get yourself that deal. You be safe online, folks. It's dangerous out there.
It is.
It's the Wild West out there.
Hey, fellas.
Yeah.
It's time for mandatory fun.
Secret mandatory fun.
I snuck it in.
Oh, no, it's not even in the prompter.
Ready with the graphic.
It's not even in the prompter. But instead of a mandatory fun, I want to know, what are you guys going to do for fun this weekend?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say this?
Yeah.
You can say whatever you
I'm
want.
probably going to be watching episode 3 of The Last of Us.
Oh, he's ahead of the game,
Getting
folks.
ready for our after show.
He's ahead of the game,
It's a good show.
folks.
It's
a really good show.
It's a really
good
How
show.
about you?
And then watching football. And
Sure, of course.
Honestly, to stay on the same train, I haven't played The Last of Us Part 2 yet.
Oh!
I need to crack that open. I'm still stuck just grinding away in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Will the game ever end? Yeah. Also, I'm still playing that Marvel Snap, all right? If you see me out there, a main Jubilee, okay, look out. I like that Odin card, extra double reveals. Watch out for me.
If you see him in the streets, you better
come correct, okay? You better have a full deck.
Yes.
You got a big day on Sunday. Any Saturday plans?
I've got a big day on Sunday. Saturday plans are I'm going to clean my house, but I'm also going to watch Last of Us catch up so that I can join.
Smart.
Watch along with you guys. And I want to give a recommendation if anyone is in the LA area. Brandon and I got a chance to see The Empire Strips Back at the Montalban Theater.
Yes.
It truly blew every expectation I had away.
This was a Star Wars parody burlesque show.
It's not.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's
it leans
beautiful.
heavier on the Star Wars and humor than it does on the titillating images, no pun intended.
Don't bring your 13-year-old child.
Don't bring a 13-year-old to it. It is certainly only for adults, but it is so much fun.
Yeah.
They take very good care of you there. I think feverup.com is the website to get tickets. I just can't recommend it highly enough. Go Bills.
You even bought merch.
I even got this beautiful shirt.
And they're in the Los Angeles area right now. They're going to be in San Diego next month.
Can't get a ticket though. I heard you said
it's hard.
out.
Check it out. I mean,
maybe go look for cancellation.
It was a really good show. Thanks for having us there.
Yes, thank you, Russell. And
really good dancing too. I mean, like beautiful artistic dancing.
Wonderful
Really good stuff.
Blew away any expectation I had.
Blew us away.
So,
Blew us away.
Great. That's all I got for you guys. Go Bills. Josh Allen, please deliver us a win. Please, so I can come to work on Monday.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah, for my sake, please let the Bills win. I don't know. But thank you all for tuning in today on this Friday. We hope you're having a great Friday.
Our next episode of the Break Room is going to be on Sunday night. It's going to come out after The Last of Us airs. We won't be here on Monday.
Yeah,
we'll be
back
back on
Monday,
Tuesday live.
Watch episode 2 of The Last of Us. Check out our after show. It'll be myself, Jessica, and Avicii.
Oh, and watch my Mandalorian video, please.
Tommy's got a Mandalorian video on the channel right now. Whitney just put out a video breaking down the Scream 6 trailer.
Ooh,
this girl.
There's some good stuff in that video.
Everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
Whitney's unbelievable.
I've seen some Screams. I'm a scaredy cat little boy. But I've seen some Screams. But she really pulled out all the details. This Scream looks insane. I'm very excited about it. Eric's got a video coming out very soon breaking down the new posters for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah, he found some kind of weird connection about the stringy Ant-Man stuff in those posters. I haven't watched the video yet, but
check them all out. But please, have a good weekend.
Yes.
We're begging you to have a
Be safe. Come see us again Sunday, and then I'll see you again on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. Have a great weekend. We love you all. Let's see you roomies later. Have a good time, breakers. Goodbye.
Bye.